Hello, everyone. Yes, it's so nice to be back here after a little break. And here we are in a new year, 2023. I know some of you might be watching this later and another year. So, welcome. Whenever you're watching this, it is such an honor and such a joy to connect with you. I'm just delighted to be here co creating a beautiful new earth, an earth of unity consciousness, right? Of sovereignty and authenticity and unconditional love. So, if you are new to my work, my name is Lisa Espinosa, and I am a spiritual career coach. And so, if you are feeling called to share your gifts, to share your divine leadership, to deepen your relationship with your own soul so that you can remember what your sacred mission is. And so not only remember it, but so that you can actually fulfill it and take those steps. I can help you if you're feeling like there's perhaps past lives that are in need of healing or clearing. I can help you with that. If you're here and you know that there's psychic gifts, intuitive gifts that are awakening within you, but you need some guidance, I'm here to help with all of that. Happy New Year, Roxana. I'm so glad to see you here, Diane, and everyone who's watching the replay. So I'm curious how your start of the year has been, right? Here we are in January. And the collective energy in January tends to be that of rushing and urgency and like setting goals and getting clear on what you're going to create this year. And this, like, hi, Destiny, good to see you. Just all this, like, it can start to feel like you're behind and it's just January. Or you might be feeling like, I'm ready for a new start. I'm ready to share my gifts. I'm ready for this new cycle of growth and healing, but I'm feeling this stuff pulling me down. So, wherever you are, I want to remind you that this month is really an opportunity to set the tone, set the pace for your year. That this is really the time to, as I've said many times before, slow down so that you can speed up. And so, what does that look like? For example, looking at your spiritual practice, your mindfulness practice. How do you connect with your soul every day? What are the things you do? What did you do last year and the year before? Was it consistent? Was it inconsistent? There's no judgment, just noticing. But then the real important thing is like tuning into your soul and asking your soul, what do you want me to do this year? Or perhaps, I know for me, it's kind of like in quarters, like, so for these first 3 months, what am I being guided? What's part of my spiritual practice? What is my daily practice going to be? How can I commit to it more fully this year? And remember, it doesn't need to be, in fact, it should not be complicated. It doesn't need to take a long time, but your soul is always asking, is always inviting, right? Your soul's not pushy, your soul's not impatient, your soul's not judging you, but your soul's always inviting, right? Like calling your name, right? Diana, Roxana, Destiny is like calling your name to tune into her wisdom, to every year deepen your relationship with her. And I'm using the pronoun her, but of course, we know our soul is beyond any gender. So this month is all about that. It's like, okay, what is my relationship with my soul? What do I want it to be this year? Because if you are here for leadership, and if you're here watching this either live or watching the replay, then you are here for leadership. You are a leader, and that will look different than anybody else's leadership. And what does that mean? It means that you're devoted to following your soul's guidance, right? That you're like, okay, the only way for me to be a loving leader, to be a leader with authenticity, to be a leader with compassion, to be a leader that can channel miracles, is for me to be devoted and committed to following my soul's guidance. And so that's one of the questions for you, is tuning into like, well, how does my soul want me to connect to her this year? And so when we do our meditation today, that's one of the questions to ask, is to look at what practices. And you're going to know that it's your soul and not your ego or a well-intentioned part of you, because it's going to be simple. It's going to be loving. It's absolutely going to be doable for you. If it's really complicated, then it's not your soul. It's coming from your ego structure or from a part of you that feels like it's got to be really hard, right? And so, for example, for me this year, I know one of the things in my spiritual practice was to connect back with yoga, not yoga, I connect with yoga, but Kundalini Yoga, and connect with a specific, what's called a Kriya, that I hadn't done in years, like years. And my soul was very clear, just 3 minutes a day of that. I mean, there's other things to my spiritual practice, but that was one aspect, to do this specific Kriya for 3 minutes a day. And, my ego or my parts could make that so complicated. Oh, I should do it for 7 minutes. I should work up to 11 minutes. I should do this. I should do that. And my soul was so simple, like, just do it for 3 minutes and like download some music to go along with it. And like I did that, and I've been doing it every day, and it's been amazing. I did this Kriya years ago, and my energy back then was so different. I was so like rigid, and I wanted to do it for like 1,000 consecutive days. And there was a lot of ego involved, right? It was like, I want to like get to like the 33 minutes. It was just this like push, because that's what I thought spiritual practice was supposed to be like. And so this year I was surprised that my soul brought it back again, but it was in a much different energy. And it's helping my physical body. It's helping my energy body. It's helping my voice. It's helping everything. So for you, it'll be specific to you, right? And, at the end of this month, I want to share on January 27th, I'm going to be doing a mini retreat. This is virtual, 2.5 hours. And in that time, we're going to really go into all of this, right? It's going to be a really nurturing time for you to listen to your soul's guidance on what's the plan for the year, but not from an ego perspective, not from a rigid perspective. And at the same time, it does require commitment. So this isn't about like, oh, I'll just do whatever. Sometimes what can happen is that we're afraid to commit. Perhaps in the past, we haven't stayed consistent with our commitments, or, we're afraid that we're not going to keep with them. So then we're afraid to set any sort of goal. So I'm not suggesting that you don't set goals. Your soul wants you to have a vision for the year. And it's going to require for you to take action. But it is this beautiful marriage of the divine feminine and the divine masculine that is being called for. So Destiny's saying, yes, I was thinking about going back to yoga as well. But yes, absolutely. So that's a wonderful thing, Destiny. And so, for everyone, I mean, many of you might be yoga. It might be something completely different. And it's like, remember, your soul knows you. Your soul, sometimes we have this image that our soul's just like, in the heavens, just like, meditating and completely unaware of our life. And your soul knows exactly what is going on in your life, knows your living situation, knows your finances, knows the emotional things you're healing right now, knows all of it, knows exactly what you need. So your soul will never suggest something that's not going to be helpful. Now, having said that, there's parts of us that can be really resistant to having a spiritual practice, because we can be afraid of what our soul's going to tell us. When I have consultations with potential clients, often they'll come in with like, well, I don't know what my soul wants me to do. I'm so confused. I don't know what my soul's telling me to do. I don't know. And we keep talking, and as I coach them through that mantra of I don't know, and I have so much compassion because I used to live in that place as well, the I don't know. what starts to come forward is that one of two things. Either they actually do know, they just haven't admitted it to themselves. It's a lot simpler than they think. Maybe it's like, oh, actually, my soul has been guiding me to do yoga every day and I've just ignored that. Or my soul has been guiding me to shift my eating a bit and I've ignored that. Or my soul's been guiding me to end that relationship and I've ignored that. Right? And it's like, again, your soul has so much patience and kindness towards you, but it's really important for us to recognize when we actually do know. And other times, what can happen is that we're just like, soul, what do you want me to do? And then we're like, nope, don't tell me. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it, right? Because we're afraid of what our soul's going to say. And those are all normal things. I've gone through all those things. I still go through those things. I went through that this morning where I was indulging in confusion, right? I was like, I don't know how to do this one thing. And I realized what I was doing, of course. And in journaling, I recognized that I actually knew exactly what I was supposed to do, but I was scared of doing it. So parts of me preferred to just keep telling myself that I didn't know because I wanted to avoid doing that thing. And so this is spiritual maturity, right? To be able to just admit and recognize, not beat myself up about it, but just recognize, oh, I do know. I'm just scared of doing it. So I've been telling myself I don't know. That's okay. We're human. Now I can ask for help. Right now I can pray. I can reach out to support from others if I need that. So in January, it's a month of sobriety, of sovereignty. Sobriety, I mean mental sobriety, that your mind is clean. What does that mean? That you are not just going back to the same old as before, as 2022. And that requires discipline. Like I noticed yesterday, it was my first day back at work, like officially with clients. I had 2 weeks off, which were amazing. And, I had a full day of clients. And last year, no judgment on last year, but last year was like, I can tell now looking at last year how a lot was squeezed into a year. It was like my soul knew, like, all right, you're going to take this course and this course. You're going to go to this place. I traveled more than I'd ever traveled before for my leadership. There was so much. And which was exactly as it should have been. And I also developed some habits that weren't as helpful, kind of a lot of little multitasking. That was very depleting. That didn't come from my soul. That just came from my parts. I felt like I have so much to do. So they were multitask. And so yesterday when I had clients, I know that on days where I have clients back to back to back to back, I have to be very nurturing with myself and really avoid multitasking. Obviously, I'm not multitasking when I see clients. I'm very focused on my client, but I mean in between clients. Like in the past, sometimes I would try to squeeze in something in between client sessions because I felt like I could cross that off the list. But my soul was like, Lisa, that's so depleting for you. So yesterday, I saw my clients and I could feel myself kind of wanting to do that multitasking thing, but I was like, nope, I'm going to stretch. I'm going to go drink water. I'm going to move and just do what I need to do in between these sessions and then come back to the session. And it required some form of discipline for sure, but it felt so much better. So for you, that's one example. It's like, what are those things that perhaps last year you fell into those habits, but this year your soul's like, we're cleaning that up. That's sobriety, right? To be able to say like, oh, okay, I'm not going to judge myself for doing that last year, but this year, I don't want to do that anymore. That was depleting. That wasn't helpful. And so that's what January is about. And the last thing I want to say about this is, I've talked about this a lot, your word for the year. And I used to do a whole lot of things about that. I didn't talk about it as much last year as I've had before. But if you haven't chosen your word for the year, or rather the word chosen you, I know those of you who attended my Guadalupe gathering last year, which, by the way, it's on YouTube free. If you didn't watch it and you want to see it, it is not too late. It was an amazing, powerful ceremony. And in that, Our Lady of Guadalupe was inviting us, right? What is the word? What is your word for this year? Not what word do you want, but what word is your soul choosing for you? And when I was leading that ceremony, I didn't receive, I was, creating the sacred space for everyone. And after the ceremony was over, and because when I do ceremony, I set up an altar behind me. So there's a whole process afterwards, right? I have to shut down my computer, disassemble my altar. It's a whole thing. It's not like I'm just like, okay, bye, and then I just jump off and go, right? There's this whole process. And when I was done with that, Guadalupe, Mother Mary, was like, okay, Lisa, you need to go lie down and just receive, because there was so much that flowed through you during that ceremony. So I listened and I did that. And then it's like she was taking me through some of the questions that I was channeling during the ceremony. And one of them was about my word for the year. So I want to share it here. I haven't shared it. I don't think I've shared it publicly. I've shared it with a friend. So I was like, okay, what's my word? I was asking, and my word came. And I know it was a word that came from my soul, because I would have never chosen this word. It's not a bad word in any way, but it just wouldn't have come to my mind. And the word, it was really Mother Mary that had it to me, was irresistible. And I was like, irresistible? And I was so happy, because I was like, oh, I know that came from my soul and Mother Mary, because I would have not chosen that word. So I've been with that, asking, I know what irresistible means, but what does it mean for me this year? And I've discovered that, and I'm still uncovering, that irresistible is both having no resistance, not resisting my soul, not resisting the flow, not resisting love. There's also magnetism, right? It's also, that's a quality of the priestess, right? That's a quality of the divine feminine, is magnetism. It's irresistibleness, right? I don't even know if that's a word. But if you think of Mother Mary, if you think of Kuan Yin, if you think of these divine beings, they were irresistible. You can't resist their love. And when people try, what they have to do is just leave. They just have to I can't handle this love, and they leave, right? So it's like Mother Mary was saying, you're being initiated into that quality, right? And so I've been really with that. I've been holding it within myself before sharing it out loud, because I really wanted to savor it, to not resist that this was the word that came to me, irresistible. So I invite you, hey Zoe, to think of your word. And if you have your word, share it here, either in the chat, or if you're watching the replay, in the comments. What was the word that came to you for this year? And if you don't have it yet, that's absolutely okay. In the retreat I'll be doing on January 27th, we're going to be in ceremony. I'm going to be channeling Reiki and healing and messages and oracle cards and all of the things, so that you can declutter and really be able to listen and tune into all of this. Sylvia saying rise up. I love that. So rising up. So that's Sylvia's words, right? And so for Sylvia, it'll be okay, what does that mean on all levels, both on a kind of higher perspective level, but on an everyday level. So for me, irresistible, it's moment by moment, day to day, what does that look like for me? What is rising up? And of course, I love that, because literally the title of my book is Priestess Rise Up, right? So I love that. So whatever your word is, it's a gift. And just in Harry Potter, when they're choosing the wand, and they say the wand chooses the wizard, not the other way around. That's how it is with the word. Diana saying faith. So beautiful, right? That it's oh, this is my word. This is my word for this year. And I've had years where I have a word, and by March I forgot all about it. Right? It's and so I encourage you. Oh, Zoe saying her word is shine. I love that. right? So I encourage all of us, I'm including myself in this, to really commit, right? And for me, when I got the word irresistible from Mother Mary, it came with this beautiful image of a blooming rose that was rose gold in color. It's very vivid in my mind. It was just like blooming and opening, but it was almost like a metallic rose gold color. I'm still unfolding what that means, and she just keeps showing me that. And so you might get imagery with it. Destiny saying sovereignty. How powerful, Destiny, right? So for you, it would be, how do I cultivate sovereignty in my everyday? Where am I being guided to express more sovereignty? Where do I not feel sovereign? For me, like, where do I not feel irresistible, right? It's like, where am I feeling, almost like constricted? So let's go ahead and go into ceremony. And again, I want to share with you, if you're interested in joining the retreat on the 27th, I'll put the link on my description here. It's also on my Facebook page. It's January 27th. It's like a New Year career, creativity, service retreat. So if the word career doesn't resonate with you, you fill in the blank. I do have a special bonus for the first 3 people that register, where I will choose an oracle card for you. And what it is I'm going to tune into the right question, because when you pull oracle cards, the gift of being an oracle, the question is such an important part of it. I've really learned that. So there's certain clients that I have that are in kind of like my VIP programs, that part of what they get from working with me is I do a channeled reading for them every month. And I recognize when I'm getting ready to do that I have to tune in and like, okay, what's the question? And the question is like the key. So I already have one person who enrolled, but so there's 2 more slots for the bonus. So for those of you who sign up and get that bonus, I'll tune into like, okay, what's the question your soul wants me to ask? And then I have hundreds of oracle decks, literally, and I will choose whichever deck your soul's like, use that one. I will pull a card and I will send that information over to you. So that will be like in preparation for the retreat. I would love for you to join me. It will be recorded. So if you can't attend live, you will have the replay so that you can go back to all of the journal prompts and everything we're going to do there, for throughout the year. Heather's saying peace and calm. Perfect. That's so beautiful. And Heather, I don't know why yours reminded me of this, but one way, because the word of the year, the way you can really integrate it is to make it practical. So what I have found is helpful is when you're, for example, when you're making a decision and you're like, oh, I don't know, should I say yes, should I say no? Do I do this or not? Come back to your word of the year and ask. So for example, Heather, if she had a decision to make and she was going back and forth, she could really tune in like, if I say yes to this, would it bring me more peace and calm? Would this help me cultivate that? Like that can be that's a very powerful way to use your word of the year. So let's go within. So I invite you to close your eyes and take some nice cleansing breaths. And just land in your heart, land in the earth. And let yourself really connect with this new year energy. Just thinking of all of the blessings of last year, all of the learning, but really anchoring yourself into this new cycle of growth. And see that beautiful golden path in front of you. And it's just so expansive, right? It's the whole year, all of 2023, just unfolding before you. And whenever you're watching this, just wherever you are in time, just visualize the rest of the year unfolding in front of you. And as you stand there here at the beginning, become aware of your soul being right next to you, how much she loves you, how she is with you every step of the way, how she knows your desires, your prayers. And this year, she wants to be available to you more than ever before. She's always been available to you. The only thing that's been in the way has been, our own fears, our own resistance, our own feelings of unworthiness. But this year, she has this invitation for you. She's like, would you let me be your ally more deeply than ever before? She knows, she's reminding you that she knows your sacred mission. She knows why you are here. She knows what your unique contribution to the planet is. That isn't to say you haven't been doing that already, but this year there's a unique aspect of that. And so if you are here, then you are here to say yes, right? You're saying yes, yes. I want to have a deeper connection with my soul. In fact, that's not even the right way. Like letting your soul lead the way. Your soul has all of the wisdom, all of the creative solutions, all of the healing that you need. And so as you think about January, February, and March, you're asking your soul, what spiritual practice, what simple spiritual practice will help me this first quarter? How do I deepen my connection to you? How do I deepen my ability to follow your guidance? And so just take a few breaths. I'm going to be silent for a few moments as you listen to your soul. Your soul might share words with you or images, or you might just feel light going into your heart. It's okay if you don't get the answers right now consciously. They will come at just the right time. So right now, just let yourself receive for a few moments of silence. So the question again is, how or what spiritual practice can I do? What simple spiritual practice to deepen my connection to you, beautiful soul? Notice what you're shown: journaling, stretching, dance, yoga, movement, meditation. Just notice. And just receive a final blessing in your heart and in your mind. So your soul sending you all the answers, all the guidance in your heart, even if you're not aware of it yet. Feel the earth under your feet. And we bring the palms of our hands together and we close this meditation with a namaste. Namaste. Thank you so much. That was so beautiful. If there's anything you want to share about what came to you, any guidance you received, even if it doesn't make sense yet, maybe you just felt something. I know for me, it was just like validation to keep doing what I'm doing, like keep with the refinements that I did at the beginning of this year. Remember that this is the most important thing. This is the difference between spiritual infancy and spiritual maturity, is that we prioritize our soul connection. It's not, oh, let me get everything out of the way. Oh, and then I can connect with my soul. Isn't that nice? No, it's like, wait, this is what I do first. Oh my gosh, Roxana saying play. I love that. That's such a soul answer. Absolutely. That's one of my things for this year too, Roxana. Play. Yes. I'm not sure what that's, Sylvia. Indulge. Oh, sing, Roxana. Yes, sing. Absolutely. Oh, I love that. And Sylvia saying, indulge in my creative projects. Yes, I love that it's indulge, right? It's not just like do my creative projects, dab in my creative projects. It's like indulge in them. Oh, you're welcome, Heather. I love that. That's so beautiful. Thank you, everyone, for sharing. And so let me just pull a few cards for the group. And then as far as I know from time, it's Wednesday at 2:30. Priestess Transmissions. It's such a joy to be here with you. Please let people know if there's friends or colleagues that you're like, oh my gosh, they would totally resonate with this. Send them over to our Priestess Temple here on YouTube. It's also, of course, simulcast on Facebook as well. So that's 2:30 Chicago time, Central time. So let's pull some unicorns. So be for the group. And so let's have this be a question about the spiritual practice for this year, right? Like a follow-up to what we just did right now. Destiny, relax, unwind, enjoy. Isn't that so interesting? I feel like we've done so much work. I feel like so much of my soul's guidance is along those lines this year. It's like I'm waiting for like, okay, hard work, but it's like actually relaxing, playing, singing, creating. Those are the things that are going to move me forward the most. All right, here we go. What's the message? Unicorns for our group. Everyone here live, everyone who's watching the replay. About our spiritual press. Oh my gosh, I love this. Cosmic diamond. Spread hope and joy. Illuminate the world. Look at how beautiful. You see it? Cosmic diamond. Spread hope and joy. Illuminate the world. Because that's what it's all about, right? Why are we doing the spiritual practice? Yes, it's for our own well-being, and it's for the healing of the planet. Because when we take the time to do this, you're polishing your diamond, right? You become that diamond that shines, that rises up, that brings peace and calm, right? That is irresistible, right? That's irresistible, not in the way that, you become a guru to people to follow, but it's like, oh, they remember their own truth, right? Thank you, Zoe. I'm just going to pull one more card. Oh, and I do want to say Zoe and I. So Zoe is my dear friend and colleague, spiritual entrepreneur colleague who is in Ireland. Some of you might have seen our special offering back in October. Well, on February 1st, we're going to join forces again and do a special transmission on St. Bridget's Day. It's going to be one of the Priestess transmissions, February 1st, all about, I think the name is like Bridget Activates Your Priestess Gifts. I'm so excited. So I'm so excited we're going to do that together. So let's just do one more and then we'll be done. Oh, beautiful. This feels like such a good partner to the other card. Calming the waters, peaceful self-regulation. Look at her. Look at those antlers, right? They symbolize the crown chakra, wisdom. And her hands, though, look at how her hands are posed. They're like calming the waters. And it says peaceful self-regulation. So when you feel your waters churning or you feel you're getting pulled back to the old patterns, she's showing you, this priestess, like, oh wait, let me regulate, let me come back to my center, let me come back to my soul, let me come back to my truth. And the first deck was Magic of the Unicorns by Diana Cooper, and this one is Priestess of Light by Sandra Ann Taylor. Thank you so much, everyone. I will see you next week. I will see you hopefully at the retreat at the end of January. And I do want to say the Sophia Circle next one starts tomorrow. It's not too late if you are interested. Your window of opportunity is closing, but if you're interested in that journey, reach out to me and we'll set up a consultation so you can join that amazing transformative journey that begins tomorrow. All right. Bye, everyone. Bye, Sylvia.